Hello, everybody, and welcome to a bonus episode of the Classic Quest podcast, the show where we break down albums track by track, try to figure out why people like them, what these songs have to say. My name is Holden Stephan Roy.
I am your lady friend Bonnie.
And today, for our bonus series where we're trying to do EPs and looking at smaller projects, we'll be talking about Jean Grae's That's Not How You Do That Either, yet another instructional album for adults.
Which makes me wonder if this was the second one that she did. And I feel like if so, we need to do that one as well.
So, we'll just do a little intro bit. So, for us, it's important to look at albums, EPs, projects, basically not focus so much on the singles and to look at like the totality of like what an artist is putting forth with their work, and just really go through it and like focus on each song, whatever we think of to say about it based on whatever the song is about. And that's what we do over here. And you probably are a bigger fan of Jean Grae than us. We often encounter these acts and like we've listened to the projects for a lot less time than you. So I say that because while Spotify has this out in 2018, this project dropped in 2015, I believe. And so it's been out for a bit, and I have never, and we'll get to that in a bit, but we're all pretty new often to the acts, and we, just in general, just bear with us is I guess what we're trying to say. And if you have any extra tidbits or ideas or history or anything that you want to share in the comments, we totally appreciate that. It only helps us get better at doing these reviews, and we love that community feeling, and we want to come in and we'll answer any comments that you totally make if you put that effort in. And before we jump into it, just give a special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, Jonathan Barnes, Chris Prado, DJ Black Hurricanes, Lindell Williams, and am I missing somebody?
I think that's it.
I think I got them all this time. Yes. All right, so we're going to talk about the project now. Miss Bonnie, why don't you reintroduce the album for everyone?
Well, for you guys, if you weren't paying any attention or you just clicked on this video blindly, this week we are doing Jean Grae's That's Not How You Do That Either, yet another instructional album for adults, which came out January 30th, 2015.
So this is the part of the show where we're going to contextualize the familiarity with the artist, because that's really important. Sometimes if you assume us to be like experts, you're going to think away. If you expect us to be giving our first reactions to something,
yes,
you'll also think a whole different way.
Hopefully we make intelligent opinions. We put together something that's relevant for you to listen to, or intelligent.
But it's just, in general, knowing our history, our connections. Sometimes, like, take an Eminem. Listening to Eminem for 20 years.
Yep.
Take it Jean Grae. This is the first time I've listened to a Jean Grae project of any kind, really.
I feel like we've done an album of hers, or maybe I've just listened to, like, something
I don't think we ever got to an album. And I say that because we keep asking about dope female rappers, and the number one person across time that got brought up was Jean Grae. And we never got around to actually doing one of her albums because we've been doing a lot of the older female albums, you can say.
I did a lyrical breakdown of her song Take Me, and I feel like I also did another song that she featured on.
And for me, I have heard her before because just last week we reviewed Quelle Chris's album's Guns that just came out, and she's featured on it, and it was this beautiful love song between them. And let's be real, it was cute if you've heard it, but they're engaged, and so having them together, and I was like, wow, she's so good. Maybe we should check out Jean Grae's stuff. And so I saw on her Spotify, the last thing that was uploaded to Spotify with a 2018 release date is this very project. So I thought it was new, and I said, fuck it. It's only 11 minutes long. We'll do it next week. And it just seemed fitting because at least Chris and I had just done the Quelle Chris. I don't even know how to say his name.
I imagine it's
right.
like which Chris? Like it's kind of like that, like Cat Chris?
I guess, maybe.
I don't know.
That's a French way to put it. But still, I don't have a lot more to comment. I looked at her wiki page, and she just seems so interesting. Like, apparently her parents were jazz musicians. She's of South African descent. Like, she's just so multi-talented. Like, she does, like, 20 things. Like, podcasting, creative writing, cooking, blogging about her cooking, all sorts of shit. Like, she's just such one of those people where you're like, how are you a human? You do everything. Anyway, so this project came out at some point for some reason. Maybe it was to teach people how to be adults. I mean, that album cover is very simple. It's just a white background and this text. And it's like, this is Jean Grae, almost like a book, a little instructional self-help book.
Yeah.
And here's some instructions on how to live your life a little bit better. And that's just what's conveyed. And it's almost to the point of what this project is. And I really like it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a title that when you read it, you want to hear the album because you're just curious. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like for me, like I took away that the cover of the of this album kind of looks like a project that I would have like created in elementary school. Like I don't know if kids have to type their projects now, but when I was a child, it was all handwritten. And it kind of looks like that. Like it looks like a kid's project, kind of that they like wrote out, and you just kind of imagine that it's going to be short and direct, just like a child's project is going to be, or would be, is very like to the point. So I'm just going to say that that's what we're going to see here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was pretty curious. I don't have a lot more to say on this, so why don't we just jump into it and talk about how you don't have to eat what's in the picture.
What happens? Filter them till shifted them down.
I didn't know what the fuck to expect. This is like some folk ass shit coming in and she's just singing over it. Also, I wasn't expecting Quelle to be on this project, so he's there doing...
He's featured on, I think, all of the songs.
Or he's involved. I mean, they're dating, or at the time, I guess, so they're probably pretty involved with each other's art.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a project together. Apparently, it's supposed to be really good. But he's just like, well, hello there. Today's tale takes place in a small little town called New York City. So tiny, if you blink, you might just miss it. And you get the snarkiness, and the tone of this album is going to be like, yeah, it's going to be one of them sarcastic, sassy kind of vibes
but
to
it's
it.
also there's also like he's sort of like a country sounding narrator, and like something that we've heard before in like like the I don't know, it reminds me of something like from like the 50s, or it kind of makes me think of like the Disney version of Robin Hood with like the rooster at the beginning, like kind of like as the narrator who's just kind of plucking away at his like mandolin or whatever.
Maybe it's a mandolin. Either way, and then he's like, my buddy Gene here is going to sing you a song. Heck, you may just learn a thing or two. Mm-hmm. And then the first line, it's cold as a witch's tit that winter day. And you're just like, oh, it's hilarious. Like, you just like, because she's so sincere, she's singing it. And like, this is like supposed to be some epic ballady, tale-y thing. Like, this is supposed to be lore almost. Mm-hmm. And she's meeting up with her friends to break some bread. And Vern and Marianne, and they go down and they stayed for hours and they drank bourbon and played guitars, and they took so many pictures that it would be just rude to not share them. Charged my phone with all the pictures right away. Haha, Instagram. Like, the album is just hilarious. Like, it's just hilarious how sincere this song sounds.
And it's not what you think when you hear this song. You don't think it's going to be about something like this.
Yeah, and please don't be, and then as you put the caption, please be a normal person. Don't be negative. We had such a great time, and I put the name of the restaurant, and then so you guys could have a similar experience if you want. You're welcome.
Which is kind of accurate. Like, I think that we do take a lot of, like, we look at one picture of somebody's, like, great time at a restaurant with their friends and, like, their, whatever, they've got going on in their atmosphere or whatever, and they're like, oh, I want that. And so that, people will go to that restaurant and kind of mimic what somebody else did.
Then somebody typed, 4 roses is garbage. You already have to leave. Bitch, you don't have to drink what's in the picture. It's a digital representation of my time. Unless you get your nutrients from other people's lives, you don't have to drink what's in the pictures. You don't have to eat what's in the picture. God damn it, this is just something that I enjoyed in life. If you fucking don't like food, then I'll post and here's some. If you don't like food, then I'll post here's some nudes. You don't have to eat the fucking picture. You don't have to eat what's in the picture. And you're just like, oh. So the whole point of this song is, I posted a picture of my fucking good time out. Why are you showing up to be a fucking dick?
Yep.
Like, if you don't like this food, nobody's telling you to eat the food because I went there and had a good fucking time.
Yep.
Over this folky situation, cussing and everything. It's sassy. It's snarky. It makes a very excellent point. Like, it's okay to be a dick on our comments. We're giving opinions on shit. But if I just posted a picture of a hamburger or some shit, and you're like, that hamburger sucks, it's like, go fuck yourself. Like, what was the point of your comment there?
Yeah.
This song is brilliant. I was like, Bonnie heard it before me and she's laughing her ass off, and I couldn't figure out what the fuck I would get that would make me laugh so much. Then I heard this. This shit's a 5. This is fantastic. This isn't a 5 in the sense of maybe a regular song, but for what it is, it's perfect. I mean, I would not put this on every day, but this is hilarious to the point. It's it's living up to its album title really well.
Yep. I mean, it's great. Yeah, I think it's just great. Like, she's so sassy. She's like, you know what? You don't have to fucking eat it just because you don't like it. Doesn't mean that you have to eat it. Like, it's just like fucking hilarious. Not everything on the internet is created for you. So if you don't like something, just move it along and shut up. And like, I don't know. It just makes me think it's funny because it is sort of like on like this like old like country kind of sounding song, and like I just loved it. I thought this was so creative. It's obviously very pointed. It's very like honest in like showing like a reflection of like modern society and something that we can all relate to, and like there's always going to be like some negative asshole that ruins everything. And she's obviously just annoyed and she's just retaliating in a song, and it's so creative, and she just was probably pissed off and just sat down and was just like, I had such a great night with my girlfriends and somebody wrote this stupid comment and now I'm gonna write a song about it, and she's just frustrated and she just wanted to vent. And I feel like this is such a great song. A 5 on 5, 100%.
Yes, Tattoos Hurt is the next song.
If needles are going to your skin, they pierce it again, and well, that is that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not feeling the show tunesy vibe of this as much, just from a preference point of view. But like, the fact that we're on a completely different genre of music, a completely different tone,
Yep.
It almost sounds nothing like the last one, just shows how fucking talented she really, really is as an artist and everything. But I mean, it's so simple. It's yes, tattoos hurt, and that's such a good question. Really glad you asked. Yes, all my tattoos really, really hurt because they are real tattoos. They're done with needles that go into your skin. They pierce it again and again. Well, that is how you get a tattoo. No, it doesn't mean I like pain. That is just the process of getting one. So yes, it hurts to get a tattoo.
Yep. And that's it.
And it's like, you just got to imagine how many times in her life she's been asked,
It's like, okay, this is so fucking
how
stupid.
does it hurt that you get a tattoo? And then she's like, do you guys know how tattoos work? Are you fucking kidding
Like, it's
me?
just the nature of getting a tattoo. I want a tattoo. I'll put it on my body. Yes, it's going to hurt. No, I don't just necessarily enjoy that pain. I'm not a masochist or whatever. Or a sadist. I don't know which one
It's
it
a
is.
masochist.
Masochist, right? And that's just part of the process. And that's it. That's the end.
And it's short, and it's like, that's such a good question. Really glad you asked. And it's all like
It's
so
definitely
fucking snarky.
like a Broadway kind of esque sounding. It made me think of Avenue Q, if anybody's ever seen that. It kind of like had that kind of feeling.
It was so funny. It was so hilarious. I was like, that is a stupid question.
Yep.
So I give it a 4.5 because of the show tunesy vibe. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, it's obviously, yes, it's funny. It's a very cocky response. And like, of course it hurts. And no matter where you get a tattoo, it's going to hurt. And people always ask, oh, does it hurt more there? It's going to hurt. There's a needle. Anyways, I thought it was very funny. I love Broadway. I gave this a 4.75. I thought it was great.
All right. Well, when you take a shit, wash your hands.
Or number 1.
Before you return.
This is like this deep synthy bass, and it's just resonating, and it's again the same snark, the same attitude, the same everything.
Yep.
All the employees, all of them customers, it makes not a difference. Could you please wash your hands before you return with your balls full of germs? And you're like,
Yep.
yeah, that totally makes sense. That's what
Everybody needs to wash your hands. Even just go wash your hands, even after touching your own computer. We all know the dirty things you've done in front of your computer. Go wash your hands.
In some cases, we do know. He's wearing a suit. He exits the stall and he's wiping his hands on his trousers. I'm sure you're important and making decisions of power. And it gets like all demonic sounding. It only takes a second, a minute, and not even an hour. And now all your handshakes are sour. You're just
didn't wash
foul.
your dirty
Could you
ass
please wash your hands? Number 1, number 2. Doesn't matter what you do. And I was just like,
Wash your hands. If you go to the bathroom, wash your hands.
and it's like, everybody's watching, especially if you're in the bathroom with somebody else. Like, look, if you're by yourself and you do it, I'm not judging you. I get it. You should wash your hands. But if you're with somebody else in the bathroom, they are judging you and washing you. Why do you still not wash your hands?
Yeah.
I mean, if I see somebody else in there, it's like I'm like acting out almost. Like, see, I'm washing my hands.
Here's the soap.
Like I'm, like I don't know. I just enjoyed this one again. It was like a great ode to washing your hands after the bathroom. And it's like, again, each of these songs is so fucking basic. Like, this is some basic shit, but you see the signs in literally every bathroom. Evidently, it's a problem.
Yep. And I mean, for me, did you give it a grade?
I give it a 5. It's hilarious.
Yep. Just everybody wash your hands.
And it's Quelle Chris, not her.
Yeah, it's all Kel Chris. And yeah, it's just wash your hands. It's gross. If you don't wash your hands, especially if you work with other people or the public, it just sounds like it was kind of influenced by like each song has a totally different genre or vibe, and everything is just completely different. So this one felt a little bit more like David Bowie inspired 1980s like electronic kind of synthiness to it. So it made me think of like David Bowie. I very much like this one. I gave it a 4.5. I thought it was great.
Well, actually...
Realidad.
You know more.
All right, Bonnie, how do you feel about this one?
I love this one. I just couldn't when I first heard this one. I just started laughing.
She was laughing at me.
I was just laughing out loud.
At me.
It sounds more like Latino, like it's like more like Mexican inspired. I would sound.
Live.
Yeah, and there's like that kind of story. It makes me think of like a Disney movie, I don't know, somebody in like a Disney movie. I can't even think of who it is. And like that kind of like they're telling a story. Wow. Oh yes. And humans cannot know everything. And we all know people who know facts about everything, and they can kind of get on people's nerves. And people love pointing out other people's errors. I'm not excluding myself from that. I love when people fuck up, and I can be like, "You're so stupid. You said this. It's like that." So I'm definitely called out. I can definitely get called out on this song too. And so this person is obviously like looking and like making these comments on like Facebook and Twitter, and she's just kind of like, well, why are you wasting your intelligence if you're so smart on these like websites?
Why don't you go to NASA?
Yeah. It's like, why don't you like it's like you should
think
just
about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just go to
Seriously.
NASA.
Take it into consideration. Go think about it or shut the fuck up.
And so she just wants you to like shut the fuck up, fuck off, and like mind your own business. And one thing I thought, like, it was just, I think it's the very end, I thought it was very funny.
Hey, let me send this promo tweet.
Yeah, and she says headed to Colombia to do show, but she writes Columbia, Columbia. Yeah.
Well, actually, you spelled Colombia wrong.
Said, well, actually, no, I didn't. On Realidad, I meant the college.
And then it just ends.
Yeah. And I like this one, and I don't know if she actually meant the college or if she just saying it to shut the guy up, but it's funny either way.
But I mean, it fits the song. It's like this. She puts a thing about her life because she's saying, well, so many facts about everything. You're like a search engine. Thank Jesus. So it's like this person who just reads your shit, goes, oh, I know you're wrong. Well, actually, blah, 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 blah. And then she's like, thanks for all your help. You're really so smart. How was I going to live without the help you give? Like, I thought I knew all these facts about my own life, but you know more. And it's just the way she says it with like, you know more. It's almost like she's lusting. Like, it's almost like that's what this person wants. Just, you want me to lust after you. And so she's patronizingly Stepford wiving, like, giving him all that lust while satirically ripping him a new asshole.
Yeah. It's so great.
So at the end, it's just like she's probably going to do the show in Colombia, because why the fuck is she flying down to the country of Colombia to do a rap show per se, or whatever she's doing? Maybe she could. Maybe, but like,
Yeah.
if you're really going to think about it, like, why would she spell it wrong per se, you know? And then the person goes, oh, you spelled it wrong. And
Yeah.
she's like, you know what? Go fuck yourself. You don't know shit. But that is a real life example, and I have been that actually person so often. I talk too much in real life sometimes. It's okay on a camera when it's part of a show.
I try to. I've definitely. I try not to like obviously do it on like to irritate anybody, but I do. If somebody is clearly sharing something that is fake, something that is not researched, something that is a scam, I will definitely point it out and be like, this is wrong because of this, this, and this. And I'll let them know. And I just let them like, sorry to be the asshole, but this is wrong.
She did that to me a lot.
Yeah. So anyways, I give this a 4.75. I think it's great. It's so sassy and so well done.
It's a 5.
And it's great.
It's really amazing. I think it's perfect. I mean, I could feel her talking to me and that I deserved it. Anyway.
And it makes you laugh.
Put the money in my hand, please.
When you give me the change.
They're like literal birds chirping in this beat, or is that you doing your bird chirpy noise?
Both.
Okay, so there's like birds chirping, and she's
It's like an R&B duet.
She's like, if I am at the store and I pay cash. It's like really fucking soft, and like she's going hard on that singing.
Yeah.
Put it in your hand. Could you please, when you give me the change, could you at least put the money in my hand? It's just that I put my hand out and everything, and you still just threw it down. I know that we can be a better if we really started with you. You put the money in my hand.
Yep.
And I really enjoyed that, because
That's all it is.
The whole song. And this is one where I had to question it a little bit, because there's too many fucking germaphobes these days.
And
germaphobes don't want you to touch them.
mm-hmm.
So you're putting me in a precarious situation where maybe I piss off somebody with a fence. But in general, if a person's reaching out their hand and you have the change, you should put it into their hand, especially if it's change, because if you drop it on the counter, it's very frustrating to try to like pick it up. Canada has this coin called a dime. It's a 10-cent coin, and it's fucking tiny and thin and really hard to pick up. So don't be a dick. Put it in the hand, especially if they extend their hand, showing that they were like not that kind of germaphobe. They wanted you to do it. I mean, like, that's all it is. That's the whole song.
Yep. What do you think? Finish up.
I mean, I gave it a 4.25. Sonically, it's my least favorite one on this project, and as far as the point goes, it's the least impactful of all the ones, in my opinion. But I love the fact that this whole project just seems to be like, oh, that shit pissed me off. Here's a song. That shit pissed me off.
And
Here's
this is
a
just
song.
like everyday, tiny, simple things that could just irritate you when it happens over and over again in your life until you just write a song about it. So I have 3 different perspectives here about this. In Europe, in certain places in Europe, when I used to travel, they do not put money in your hand ever. Like, it's not a custom there. And they literally, there's like this little plasticky tray that's in the middle between like the cashier and the customer. And when you're buying, you put the money in the thing, and they'll take it and they'll put it in their cash, and then they'll put the change in the middle, and you'll just take it, and that's how that is. And that's just like their custom there. And you wouldn't, like, it's considered rude to put the money in their hand. Like, it's people become like very like weirded out by it. So like that's one perspective about this. So it does kind of it doesn't necessarily fall into like the germaphobe thing, but it's the same sort of like idea. And like, secondly, when I've worked at several stores and different stores where I have been a cashier, and if someone was a real asshole, I'll put the money on their counter and be like, you know what, you fucking deal with it. Like, like if someone is like a dick to me, or they're just ignoring me, they're chatting on the phone, they're not, giving me any attention, they're just not being polite, and they're not, being a good customer, because there's, you got to give and get. That's what I'll do. I'll just like put it on the thing and just walk away and be like, yeah, whatever. On the other hand, being a customer, I do want that money put into my hand.
Even if you're an asshole?
I'm never an asshole. I know what it's like to be to have shitty customer experience. So I would never try to be that person. I'm always trying to like always give people the benefit of the doubt and be patient and everything else. But do not put that money in my hand. And this seems to be only in like dollar stores and corner stores. They will put the fucking bill and put the coin on top, and that that shit's just gonna slip and fall everywhere. Put the coins in my hand and then give me the bills. Like, why do you and then I have to like carefully balance it, so I put it in my purse. Like, just do not do that. Coins in my hand, bills on top. That's enough of that.
You write verse 2?
Yes, I'm gonna. Jean and me are gonna team up, and we're gonna put the bill in my hand properly. So I mean, I love it. I think it's great. It's comical. It's versatile. It's so basic, realistic. Everybody has to like encounter this. Everybody in like, the modern working world. So yeah, great message. I give this a 4.75.
Wow, that's crazy. So this is like some like older punky kind of driven shit, like, I'm just trying to talk to you. And she sings it like that. If you can't multitask while you're on the phone, then say that, but you didn't. You said, wow, that's crazy. I know that means you're not listening. And then the song ends. It's literally like 16 seconds, which, because she's doing the punk thing, actually makes sense that this song would be as short as fucking possible to get the point across. And so that's really cool that she has that adherence to the different genres she's playing with, and that it's not just like she's making them right on top of everything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is annoying when you're talking to somebody and you tell them a whole thingy and they go, wow, that's crazy, or yep, or whatever other bullshit they say. And if you can't multitask while you're on the phone, don't answer the phone. Don't do that. It's rude.
Yep.
And that's the whole song.
Yep.
I love it. I thought it was great. Another fantastic point that's more universally applicable than the last one. 5 on 5. Brilliant little track.
Yeah, so I mean, she's obviously trying to be more like rocker chick. Like, this is kind of more, maybe think of like Courtney Love, of Hole, of like that kind of like sound. If she's talking to you on the phone, she wants your full attention. And if you're doing something else and you can't fully listen, so instead of giving vague replies like, oh, wow, that's crazy, like it's to make it seem like you're paying attention, she knows you're not, and you're just wasting her breath, and like, just don't answer the phone. Like, if you can't talk, like, just be like, oh, let's chat later or whatever. For me, I think this was my least favorite. It was very short, so for me, like, that was fine. It was only 16 seconds, so I give it a 4 on 5.
Boo. Trilogy part the street.
About these new things they're called thoughts.
This is a little 3-parter about catcalling. So, Bonnie, you should probably start this one.
I mean, it starts off with like the kind of country style again. Very 90s country. It sounds a little bit.
It really starts off with some catcalling going on in the background that you can kind of hear as they're calling out at her right before this happens.
Oh, maybe see, like, I missed it because for me, like, this song went like over my head. Like, I didn't really get that it was about catcalling.
Because you hear them like, hey, baby, why are you ignoring me, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, this whole song is like in response to this guy. So she goes, have you ever considered using your inner monologue? Have you contemplated deep in your words inside your craw? Think about it, think about it, think about it. So it's like, if you do see a hot girl walking by, just think it. You don't have to use the words to express it. You can just be like...
I just thought somebody was just getting on her nerves and she didn't want to, like, hear them anymore. But I didn't realize it was about catcalling.
And then she's getting snarky with, like, I don't know if these new things, they're called thoughts. It sounds crazy. Maybe just hear me out because I don't want to hear you anymore. Think about it, etc. And then that's the whole first part, as she's just kind of... It's almost like she's thinking this to him as he's calling out some shit. And then it just kind of stops and it morphs into like part 2 where it gets a little more kind of edgier in a sense. And she goes, what type of response were you expecting from me? And has that shit ever worked before? I was like, it's funny. I've seen girls say that.
Yep.
I've spam messaged on dating sites some provocative shit like that, and I've gotten that response. Yes, it has worked before is the answer to your question. Of course it has worked. Why do you think guys do it? Come on. Every time a girl says it to me, I'm like, yes. Every sleazy thing you've ever done. Like, hey, you want to fuck? Well, you might take you 250 girls you say it to, but based on law averages, one will say yes, and that's the actual reality. So is it a good success
guess.
rate? No. But to answer the universal question for the ladies, yes, the shit's worked before. I know it's not.
Somebody. It worked on somebody once.
Did I say it's the most effective? Did I say it's right? Did I say it's okay? But yeah, often the answer is yes. It has worked before. That's why I'm still doing it. Because if it didn't work before, you would have tried something new.
Okay.
You know, like just thinking practically about that. Now, will it work on you? No. Does it work on most women? No. Probably not. It's not a smart approach for efficiency's sake. But then it's like she's actually saying that to the guy. So the first part's like her thoughts. The second part's what she actually says. And then the tone changes and it gets kind of funky.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? When did I get ugly? I'm ugly now? Because the guy's almost started calling her. Oh, well, because if you think about how catcalling would go, oh, baby, you so hot. You so fine.
And the girl ignores him.
Or whatever. Oh, you fucking ugly bitch. I didn't even want you anyway. That type of shit, right? So what? When did I get ugly? I'm ugly now? Oh, well, guess what, though? Hey, oh, I'm still the same. Nothing's changed except you. I'm still the same. Yeah, I'm still slapping, still the same. I'm still look exactly the same. I'm still on my way to do my laundry. Which is kind of usually people are dressed down and maybe not looking their best when they go to do laundry. So in the first place, it's like, I'm going to do my laundry. Why are you fucking bothering me? But then this is all like her thoughts to this guy's catcalling. Or she's responding. I don't really know if she does, but I thought about it from like the perspective she's putting in. It's really interesting, and I think it's again right in line with the rest of this album, but like cool because I guess a lot of people do catcall, and I'm certain in certain communities and certain types of girls it is really effective. Like some people want that attention. The problem is assuming that everybody wants that attention. So I don't know. I thought it was fantastic. I liked how it's a little three-parter and it really just fits the whole song really well. I give it a 5.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm like, for me, like maybe I don't know. I listened to it more than once and I still didn't get it. I was kind of like, what is this about? Like I didn't really like I understood that she was obviously like annoyed with somebody and wanted them to just like think instead of like talking. I just didn't really know who it was, and then I didn't really get. I assumed that it was somebody who thought she was hot, and then like I don't know. For some reason, I didn't put two and two in my head and think it was catcalling. I like the sound of it. I like the third part of it, especially like it got really funky, and I enjoyed that. But like for me, like sorry, Jean, I was just missing the message on this one. It was still creative. I gave it a 3.9 actually.
Okay, I can accept that.
Yeah.
But that's the end of the album. So that brings us to the end of this review. I gave this project a 4.802. Mostly, but like here's the thing. This grade cannot be compared against like say a full-length studio album. First of all, EPs and albums are not the same. It was 11 minutes long and 7 quirky little ideas that were put together.
Yeah.
However, I do think the project is that good. It's 7 styles of music delivered excellently. Every song really is something that maybe adults are bad at. It is basically common courtesy, and it's got this flair and this attitude and this tone that I find genuinely funny.
Yes.
Like it's just
like I laughed my way through this entire album.
Because like she's so serious about everything she's saying while being over the top silly with it, because all the subject matter that she's being so serious about is this regular shit, but it is the same kind of regular shit that bothers all of us. So I really like I'm blown away. Like as a first Jean Grae project, I'm like, this is, I suppose, when you think of multi-talented instrumentalist, super artist types, you think of shit like this, but you don't ever get that attitude of fucking dopeness that goes along with it. Usually it's a bunch of humble ass fuckers. Now this is a chick with flair. Love listening to this project. It was really good.
Yep. I mean, like I said, I laughed like through this entire album or, EP, and it was just so much fun. Like I absolutely would suggest everybody, if you haven't listened to this, even if you want to again, go and listen to it. It's 11 minutes. It's worth that time of your life. I give this a 4.52, so it's a 90%. For me, it was very enjoyable. It was so much fun. It was just about real everyday annoyances that everybody can relate to. It's funny, it's sassy, it's creative. She hits like all these different types of genres. So even if you don't like rap music, you're not gonna like have that issue with this one because it is country, it is Broadway, it is everything. It has little bits of everything through it, and it doesn't necessarily.
Anything it doesn't have rap.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like the only thing it's missing is it doesn't really feel like a rap album. It feels like a music album, or like a girl, or like a woman's, like, you know, irritating album. Like it's just like a
Irritated,
yeah. So anyways, I just thought it was really great. It was really good, and go listen to it and you may actually learn something and be a better person.
Yeah, it's really cool. So thank y'all for watching. It totally means the world. Definitely let us know what other EPs are out there that you care about. And to be clear, because sometimes an EP can be an hour long, we mean short EPs, and we're going to try and squeeze in more of these short albums as like extra little bonus things. But also, the goal is to do EPs that don't just have a bunch of songs that appear on an album, because we just do the album at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And this, anyway, because the short albums take less time to prepare for stuff, so it's easier to squeeze them in as an extra review, just being honest. So
Yeah.
if you want to
And
see
more content for you, which, you know,
Yeah.
everybody enjoys.
So if you want to see more of your lady friend Bonnie talking about classic rappers and shit, let us know what EPs you think we absolutely need to cover on top of, you know, the albums that we're covering.
Yep.
So yeah, let us know in the comments what you think about this project, which Jean Grae albums we should talk about. We do have a lady album coming up for episode 100, so we will be doing that in a couple of weeks. Let us know your favorite female rappers and who we should be checking out. And yeah, definitely happy to talk to you in the comments there. Special thanks to the patrons Ismail Gadamsi, Jonathan Barnes, Chris Prados, DJ Black Hurricane, and Lindale Williams. They support what we do. They helped us get a new camera. They get to tell us what albums to review. They get access to some content early when we upload the videos on time. They're just really cool people, and they're really motivated us to keep at this. I mean, it's kind of hard if nobody cares, you know, but people do care, which blows our fucking mind. So thank y'all for being so dope like that. And you can also just hit that little subscribe button for more reviews. You can hit that like button if you did like it. You can leave those comments, and we can talk all these good YouTube points so that we get shown to more people and we grow bigger than the little teensy pocket of reviews that we're in the bottom corner of people who care about long reviews. Don't worry, we're going to look into going on to actual podcast platforms, because maybe YouTube is not the right platform for what the fuck we do, but we're going to grow and expand as we do what we do. I dropped a project recently. It's up on Spotify and this channel and Bandcamp and all that good shit, and the full version's coming out soon, so you can check that out and let me know what you think. And yeah, we'll be back with more great shit in the near future, so thank y'all and peace.
Bye.
Guys.